Hello students, I am Barsha, your teacher, and I welcome you all to this special class. Today we are going to read a new chapter from your EVS book, Like Father, Like Daughter. Students, most of you would have observed that some of your characteristics are either like your father or like your mother. Some of you even inherit your characteristics from your grandparents, maybe paternal or maternal. So this is what we are going to learn today through this chapter, that why and how some of our characteristics are like our parents. Mostly the daughters are like the fathers and usually the sons are like their mothers. So let us get started and know more about this chapter. So students, this is very interesting chapter because it starts with a sneeze. So here we are going to read about the law of inheritance and why do we look like our parents. So here was Ashima, who was sitting near the window and reading. It was windy and there was a lot of dust in the air. Suddenly Ashima sneezed loudly. Achoo! Ashima's parents were sorting out vegetables in the kitchen. Her mother said, "She sneezes just like you do. If you were not here, I would have thought it was your sneeze." So Ashima was a young girl. She was sitting near her window and she was reading, and the day was windy, so there was a lot of dust in the air, and suddenly Ashima sneezed. Ashima's parents were not in the same room. They were in the kitchen and were sorting the vegetables. Suddenly, after hearing the sneeze of Ashima, her mother said to her father that she sneezes exactly like you. If you would have not been with me, if you were not present in the kitchen, I would have thought that it was you and not Ashima. Can you imagine that how similar were the father and daughter, that even the way they used to sneeze was similar and the mother could not identify that who has sneezed. Students, there would be so many characters which are the same as of your parents, isn't it? Some of you look tall, maybe your father also looks tall, maybe the color of your eyes or the color of your hair or even the way your hair looks, straight or curly, it is the same like your parents. Why is it so? We are going to find out more from this chapter. Now before we move ahead, there is a small table for you to fill up. Ashima sneezed just like her father. Do you have any such habit or trait which is similar to that of someone in your family? What is it and whom is it similar to? So, whatever special traits you do have, you can mention in the table towards the left side, and you should also mention that do you find the similar trait with someone else in your family? Who is it? You should note it down. So, there are so many characteristics and traits that may be similar to our parents. Sometimes students, even if not our parents, sometimes there are these distant relatives who also have the same characteristics because they are from the same family. It is an extended family, so maybe we have inherited some characteristics, some traits from them too. Now you have to answer certain questions. Here are the questions for you. Does your face or anything else look similar to that of someone else in your family? What is it? So you can identify, you can match your face or any other part of your body which is similar to that of someone else in your family also. If you find it out, you must identify what is it. Here is another question for you. Did someone tell you this or did you find it out yourself? How did you know about it? Somebody told you about it or you got to know it yourself? Here is the next question for you. How do you feel when people compare you with someone else in your family? Why do you feel so? So you must be feeling very happy, or sometimes some people feel very bad about it, that why do I look like him or her? Isn't it? So whatever your feelings are, you can express it well. Now, there's the next question for you. Who laughs the loudest in your family? Laugh like that person. So, this is something very funny and humorous for you people to find out. Hope you will enjoy while getting the answers for these questions. Let us now move to the next part of the chapter. Who is whose aunt? Nilima had gone to the house of her Nani. Nani means mother's mother, that means your maternal grandmother. In the school holidays, she saw someone coming and went to tell her mother, Amma, a mausi, that means mother's sister has come to meet you. Her mother came out to see who had come. She told Nilima, no, this is not your mausi. She is your sister Kiran. You know your eldest Nani? Kiran is the daughter of her elder son. Kiran is your cousin sister. In fact, you are her cute son Samir's mausi. Now, this was a very interesting relationship in Nilima's family. So, Nilima had gone to visit to her Nani's house. Usually, Nani means our maternal grandmother. So, when someone belongs to your paternal side, like your paternal grandfather, paternal uncle, they are known as your dada, dadi, chacha, chachi, whereas the people, those who belong to your maternal sides, are known as nana, nani, mama and mausi. So, basically the people who belong to your mother sides are known as your maternals, and the people, those who belong to your father's side, the family members, those who belong to your father's side are known as your paternals. So, here she was in her maternal's grandmother in the school holidays, and she saw someone was coming to meet her mother. She immediately ran to her mother and said it to her that a mausi, that means your sister, mother's sister, she has come to meet you. The moment Nilima's mother came to see out who had come, she found that it was not her sister. So, she said to Nilima, this is not your mausi, she is your sister Kiran. She said that she was her sister Kiran. It was not mother's sister. And how Kiran was Nilima's sister? Let us find out that. Now, she says to Nilima that you know your eldest Nani. Eldest Nani means the sister, the elder sister of Nilima's Nani. That means Nilima's mother's mother. Now, Kiran was the daughter of her elder son. So, Kiran was the daughter of her elder son. So, in that way, Kiran was the cousin sister of Nilima. In fact, you are her cute son Samir's masi. Now, Kiran was very, older to Nilima, and she was a mother of a cute little boy. So, in that regard, Nilima was the mausi of that cute little son of Kiran. So, she was the masi of Samir, who was Kiran's son. Isn't this so interesting? We really sometimes enjoy being the masi, nani, kaki or chachi of people around us. Now, you have to make a list of all the family members from Nilima's Nani to little Samir. How are they all related to Nilima? So, students, you would have already got the list of the family members of Nilima, isn't it? Let us tally whether you are right or not. So, here is the answer. List of Nilima's family members is here. Nani, who is Nilima's maternal grandmother, that means mother's mother. Eldest Nani, that means Nilima's Nani's sister. Elder son of Nani, that means Nilima's mama, who is mother's brother. Kiran, who is Nilima's cousin, that means mama's daughter. Now, Samir is Nilima's nephew, that means son of her cousin. So, here is the list of the members of Nilima's family. Now, here are some more things for you to find out in your family. In your family, are there any such examples of uncle, nephews or brother, sisters where there is a big difference in the age? Find out from your elders. You can ask it, you can find it out and you can share it. Now, let us move to the next part of the chapter. Let us see what happens. How we are all related. Nilima started playing with Samir. Her mother called Kiran and said, "See, My Nilima's hair is a lot like yours, thick, curly and black. It's good she does not have hair like mine, straight, limp and brown. Nilima's Nani laughed and said, yes, isn't it strange? We sisters had thick curly hair and now our second generation has similar hair. Nilima was listening to all this. She thought, we are called distant relatives, but how closely related we are in many ways. So Nilima started playing with the young little cute boy Samir, and during that time her mother called Kiran and said that look at Nilima's hair. It's just like your hair. It is thick, curly and black. She also thanks God that her hair doesn't look like mine, because her hair, Nilima's mother's hair, were straight, limp and brown, and usually she didn't like her own hair. So she was happy that Nilima's hair was thick and curly and also black. Nilima's Nani was enjoying the conversation and she said, yes, it isn't so strange. We sisters, that means Nilima's Nani and her sisters had also thick curly hair. And now their second generation, means Nilima's mother was the first generation and after that Nilima was the second generation. It was amazing to see that they also possessed the same kind of hair, which was thick, curly and black hair. Nilima was listening to all this. She knew that all of these family members were distant relatives, but still then there was some similarity and they were related very closely in different ways. Now let us get some answers to different questions. Here are the questions for you. Does Nilima have curly hair like her nannies? Now you look for some special trait in your sister or brother. Maybe also cousins, like the color of your eyes or dimples in cheeks, height, broad or sharp nose, voice, etc. See if this trait comes from the father's side or the mother's side. Make this table in your notebook and fill it up. An example is given. So students, you could make a table in your notebook and find out what are the different characteristics in your family which are similar to each other. What is a special trait? Examples are already given. Maybe it's your height or maybe shape of your nose or even the voice. And whom does it resemble to? You have to mention that, and it is from whose side, whether it is from your mother's side or your father's side. Let us have a look at the next question. Have you seen a very young child in your family or any other family? Whom does the child's eyes, nose, hair or fingers look like in the family? Write their name. So you have to observe it and find out these information, these details about the young child and his similarities. Now here's the next question for you. Nilima's hair is like her Nani's, thick and curly. Nilima's mother has straight, brown and limp hair. What type of hair do you have? Black or brown? Oily or dry? This is something to explore it yourself. You should observe yourself carefully in front of the mirror and then write it down that what type of hair do you have. Here is the next question for you to find out what is the color of your hair. Measure and write the length of your hair. It's very interesting activity for you all to follow. Let us move to the next question. Is your hair like that of anyone else in your family? If yes, then name the person. If you find that your hair is like someone else in the family, you could mention it. Now measure the hair of other members of your family. Here is another question for you. Who has the longest hair in your family? It would be very interesting and amusing for all of you to follow these activities in your home and find out the really interesting answers. How many people do you know whose hair is longer than 1 meter? Does having long hair run in their family? So if someone in your family has long hair, do you find it's a special trait which continues in your family? Anyone else also have the same kind of long hair? That means, is it a trait which is being continued in your family? So you have to find it out. The next question for you to find is, do you know how to measure your height? measure yourself from head to toe and write how tall you are. This is for you to find out. The next question also is for you to find out how tall do you think you will be when you grow up. Is anyone else in your family of the same height? You have to find all these details about you and your family members. I do believe that it would be very interesting to find out these things, these information, these facts about your family members. Next question for you is measure the height of your family members and you should write it down. Now, let us move to the next part of the chapter. Let us move ahead and find out some more interesting facts about the similarities and differences among the family members. Is this a mirror? Look at the next page. Is Saroja standing in front of a mirror? No, this is her twin. Did you get confused? Their mother's brother, Mama, also gets confused when he sees them together. At times, Saroja gets scolded for mischief done by Suvasini. Sometimes, Suvasini tricks her mama and says Suvasini has gone out. Now, students, you would have seen sometimes that you would find a brother or sister exactly like his brother or sister. Even they look same and their ways of talking and behaving is also the same. That is because they are the identical twins. So, these brothers and sisters resemble each other in appearance and looks. That's why they are known as twins. So, there may be different kinds of twins. Identical twins are completely identical. They look very similar. Whereas, there is also another type of twins which is fraternal twins. Fraternal twins do not resemble exactly. There may be some differences in looks and appearances. So, here is the story of the twins of Saroja and Subhasini, who are identical twins. They are so much identical that even their mama gets confused while identifying them. And the daughters, like the sisters Saroja and Subhasini, both take the advantage of their resemblance. So, what Saroja does? Saroja gets scolded if any mischief, any prank has been played by Subhasini. And sometimes Subhasini also tricks her mama and says that Subhasini has gone out, whereas she is present herself there. But now mama has learnt a trick. He says, sing a song in Marathi. Why this funny trick? Read about them and you will understand. Usually mama was also confused earlier, but finally he has got a trick to identify who is Saroja and who is Subhasini. Let us also find out what trick has mama learnt. The sisters were just 2 weeks old when Saroja's chachi, that means Saroja's father's brother's wife, adopted her and took her to Pune. Everyone in Chachi's house is very fond of music. Mornings begin with music in the house. Saroja knows many songs in both the languages, Tamil and Marathi. At home, everyone speaks Tamil and at school, most of the children speak in Marathi. So, when the sisters were very young, they were just 2 weeks old, then Saroja's chachi had adopted her, means Saroja, and she was taken to Pune with her chachi. So, in Chachi's family, everybody was so fond of music. So, Saroja also learnt music in the house and Saroja knows so many songs in both the languages, Tamil and Marathi. She was a Tamil, but because she shifted to Pune, so she learnt Marathi also. So, at home also, everyone could speak Tamil and in the school, most of the children could speak in Marathi. So, that's how Mama gets to identify who is Saroja, because Saroja can speak and sing in Marathi as well. Now, Subhasini stays with her father in Chennai. Her father is a karate coach. Since she was 3, Subhasini started doing karate with the other children. On holidays, both father and daughter start practicing in the morning. So, Subhasini was staying with the father in Chennai, unlike Saroja, who used to stay in Pune. Subhasini's father is a karate coach, and from the age of 3, Subhasini started doing karate with the other children as well. So, on holidays, it would be a very interesting time because both father and daughter together start practicing karate in the morning. Saroja and Suhasini look alike but are also quite different. Do you know why Mama has his way of finding out who is who? So now you would have already identified that how Mama gets to know that who is Saroja and who is Suhasini. But students, all the characteristics, all the traits of Saroja and Suhasini are not similar. There are some differences. Okay, now let us move to the question answer part. You have already understood so many things which is really important for you to know and learn. Here is the question for you. What is similar between Saroja and Suhasini and what is different? So, you have already got the answer. Yes, of course you are correct. Both Saroja and Suhasini look like mirror images because they are twin sisters. They look so similar that their mama gets confused. The differences between them are that Suhasini can speak both Marathi and Tamil while Saroja can speak only Tamil. Suhasini is a good singer while Saroja is a karate exponent. Okay, so these are the similarities and differences between Saroja and Suhasini. Do you know any twins? What is similar in them? How are they different? If you know about any twins who stay nearby or whom you have seen recently, you could share about them and you have to tell what is similar in them and how are they different. You will definitely find some characteristics, some traits which are similar and some which would be not. Now here is another question for you. Do you know of twins who don't look the same? You would find someone who may be twins but who do not look the same. I discussed about them. So they are the fraternal twins. Now let us see what happened next. Saroja and Suhasini look a lot like each other yet are different. For example, Saroja knows 2 languages. If Suhasini's family also talked in 2 languages, she could also learn both. We learn many things like language, music, love for reading or knitting when we get a chance and an environment to do so. So there are certain things which we learn from our environment. So these are the things we can learn, like let it be language or music or love or any sport or knitting. So some characteristics are inborn, like the moment we are born with those qualities, we are born with those traits and characteristics. But there are certain other things which we are not born with, but we learn it from the environment. Now there is some very interesting activity for you all to try. Do this interesting survey in your class and write how many children can do this. So here are the activities. You can try this out in your class or in your friend circle. The first one is for you. Without touching your teeth, fold your tongue towards the back of your mouth. It sounds really very tough and very difficult. You could see the picture and I do believe not everyone could do this. So you have to touch your teeth by folding your tongue towards the back of your mouth. I do not know how many of you would be able to do this. Let us move towards the next activity. You have to roll your tongue by lifting it from the sides. You have to roll your tongue by lifting it from the sides. This also seems next to impossible, but there would be some who could be able to do it. Here is another activity for you all to try. Open all the toes of your feet. Now, without moving the others, move the little toe. Can you do it? I don't think so. But yes, someone might be able to do it. Here is another activity for you all to try. Touch the thumb to your wrist. You have to touch the thumb to your wrist of the same hand. Is it possible? It may not be, or it may be also for some of you. Here is another interesting activity for you all to try. Make a V by separating 2 fingers of your hand to each side. So you have to keep 2 fingers together and then you have to make a V by separating those 2 fingers of your hand to each side. I don't know how many of you would have been successful to attempt this, but you can try this definitely. Here is another interesting activity for you to try. Move your ears without holding them. Is it possible? I don't know, but if you are able to do it, it's really very great. Not everyone can do it. Now those children who could do any of these should ask their family members also to do so. So how many children have got this trait from their family? Maybe some of their family members are also able to do that. That's why they could also do it easily. So students, we have already learned so many things that why do we look like our parents or our grandparents? That's a special characteristic that is called law of inheritance. And there are still many more things, how it was created and who found this out. So for that we have to wait till the next online session. So till then, be safe and keep smiling. Thank you.